And welcome everybody to Tuesday night racing action here with the HCK Beagles. Man, we're in for a great one. 175 miles here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the kind of kingdom of speed over here in the Americas. Man, this is going to be a really good race, and the question is anyone going to be able to dethrone Curtis Kirchley? Well, the only way to find that one out is sit around and wait here for the end, but that's coming down later in the line. Let's start this one off with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Yes, and welcome back, and thank you all for joining us here early for that. Tonight's race greatly sponsored here by Davidson Builders. They're coming out of New Jersey here. Such a great company. If you got some remodeling needs to be done or some kind of custom in-home design work, man, go check them out at davidsonbuilders.com. and they will definitely get you all hooked up, especially if you're near that New Jersey area. I'm Alan Brown, and I'm joined in the booth, as always, by Mr. Alan English. Alan, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great. I've been looking forward to this race. It's a tough one. You know, don't get me wrong. It's not going to be easy to race here, but it should be exciting to watch. You know, the track is very flat. It's very narrow. You're really just riding, hoping somebody makes a mistake so you can get around them. I think that's where you're going to see the majority of the passing here tonight. But it's a historic track, and I hope NASCAR starts racing here again, because I really enjoyed watching the Cup cars race here. These trucks are going to put on a pretty good show tonight, I think.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement on that one, as Mr. Adam Turner's down there on pit road. Coolers all stocked up and ready. You ready for a good one here at Indy, buddy?
Yeah, I think so. It's like English was saying, tough place to get around, especially and past people. Another issue, I think we got 107 degrees out on the track right now. That's going to come into play at some point in the race. 2 fast repairs, 75% fuel, 70 laps. And if my math serves me right, that means that's 175 miles for the HCK Beagles Racing League. And I'm looking forward to it. So let's get this party started.
Yeah, let us do that as we look at that race info you were just talking about, man. Yeah, sweltery day down there on the racetrack. We're going to probably see these cars slide through some of these turns more than what we normally see them do. As we also just take a look at general weather overall. iRacing, still no rain, so that is not in the forecast just yet. Thank goodness, because I wouldn't want to see what carnage that would bring out here tonight. But that is also to that key to the race. And man, it's a very important one. Get to that clean air. It's going to be very difficult to pass after the first couple laps and everyone starts going. So you got to get your passes done early, and you got to get to that clean air to be able to run some great laps around here.
Well, that and, you know, these trucks, they knock a big hole in the air, okay? So if you're counting on downforce on the front of your truck to plant those front tires to get you through that turn, you don't want to be in dirty air. You don't want to be right behind another truck when you go into that turn because you're just going to wash up the track. And once you get up out of that groove and get in those marbles, just get ready because you're going to hit that wall. There's nothing you can do to stop that truck once it gets sliding up towards that wall. So, yeah, got to be careful there.
Yeah, another thing that I don't think we touched on was pit road here. It's very narrow. I think it's difficult to get in coming off that flat bank. That no bank basically turn 4, and you got to get it down to 60 miles an hour. So, yeah, that's something else to look forward to if we have any green flag pit stops. So, a lot to watch for. We'll see how it shakes out with these guys and the teams and all the stuff that's going on with this crew out here tonight.
As we are still in the middle of qualifying, just a few more minutes left before these guys start to look to take out to the grid, where Kevin Winker currently sitting on that top spot. Right behind him is Curtis Critchley. And Paul Durkee, man, putting in a great lap time here tonight. We've seen Paul, you know, the last couple weeks, he's gotten some really, really good results. Just either by luck or just by being, you know, right spot or right time and putting a little skill into that. And Bob's your uncle, you know.
Yeah, it looks like, sorry about that. Andrew Hansley chimed in on Facebook saying he's running a custom paint scheme tonight. A little throwback to the Dukes of Hazzard. So cool to see that orange 24 truck run around out there.
Yeah, it is quite orange. That is no joke.
Yeah, there's a couple cool paints. Looks like Winker's got a new paint scheme out there. The back of it says Kevin can take his money and shove it. I don't know what he's talking about there, but
Inside,
Team America,
okay.
Team America representing with that American flag on the tailgate as usual, or on the tail bed actually.
Still just a little bit away here in this qualifying, so let's head on through and kind of go over these current standings here, as I actually did not properly upload those. Ooh, give me 2 seconds and I'll actually pull those up for everybody.
Well, I mean,
But I mean, it's no surprise who's on top of that leaderboard right there.
Yeah.
Curtis Critchley. I mean, he's starting to quickly cement a very big lead, but then you got Kevin Winker and Cale Turbeville. I mean, Cale, he's sitting there in third without a win, but just look at his average finish of 4th, and he's just 7 points behind Winker, who's got those 2 wins. You know, and he's even in front of some of these guys that have a win, like Eric Stoy and Brian Skidmore. You know, it's really still up for grabs. I mean, we're only about halfway through this season, and you know, just some bad luck falls apart here on Curtis, and people start catching back up, and you know, it's one of those things that can come down to the wire.
Cale's had a great season so far, and just being very consistent, and it's really paying off for him. And thank you, Angry Indian 89, for joining us on Twitch. Appreciate the compliment, bud. Y'all are the reason we do this, so thanks for joining us once again. We
Yeah,
are on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook streaming tonight.
Everything. We are literally on everything. Yeah,
Now, we're not on that new one that I was telling you about, the Truvo or whatever the heck I saw it was.
I put that in my coffee in the morning.
No,
That's that stevia stuff, isn't it?
I thought that's
Oh, that's Truvia.
That's sugar.
Fake
Yeah, well,
sugar.
we got to get it. I'll work on that. We'll get on that platform too. Might as well own them all. You know, let's do it.
Yeah, you know what? You might be right there, Turner. You might, as well as these drivers start to grid up here at Indianapolis. We'll head on out to that blimp view to take a look at my favorite part of this track, and that's that golf course on the infield. But we'll also take a run down here for where everybody is starting tonight. And that's going to start us off with that 42 of Kevin Winker, Team America, up there at the front, pole position, followed on that outside, that 27 of Curtis Critchley. The 6th, Paul Durkee, will be starting here in 3rd, with that 20 of Justin Lawson in 4th. 64, Cale Turbeville starting in 5th, with the 51 of Joshua Moore in 6th. Rodney Griffin driving that 97 had a great qualifying time to start up here in 7th, with the 1 of Derek Welch, one of those numb thumb gaming community people. He's going to be starting off here in 8th. 15, Cody Staten's going to be starting here in 9th, with the 75 of Brian Skidmore rounding out that top 10.
Paul Ferdiani will be in that 66 truck starting in 11th. Zachary Staten in the 88 in 12th. Brian Doty in the 2 starting 13th. Bay Area Rob Chowdhury in the 408 machine starting in 14th place. Zach Dillon in the 120 will start 15th. Brandon Coleman in the 54 truck starting in 16th. The rowdy man, Rowdy Derek Puckett in the 8 truck starting in 17th. Stephen Naylor in the 5 starting in 18th. Brad Taylor in the 31 19th. And rounding out your top 20, our good buddy Richard Michelob Gray in the 110.
Look at him go. 18, Dylan Ellis, 21st. Number 4 of Eric Stoy is 22nd. The tailgate on his truck is pretty amazing, by the way. 10 of Stone Hutchinson, 23rd. The 121 of Dusty Smith, 24th. And 24 is Andrew Hansley in the 24 truck. Throwback Dukes of Hazzard paint scheme, 25th. 22 Albert McBride is in 26th. 67 of Nathan Stanley is 27th. The number 28 of Henry Wyndham is actually 28th. 45 Michael Grinolds, 29th. 12 of Austin Johnson, 30th. Michael Hicks, 31st. And number 33, Eddie Murray, in 32nd place. So that'll round it out here in this 2.5 mile legendary speedway.
Yeah, that it is. This is where legends have been made in multiple sports, whether that be Formula One, IndyCar, NASCAR, anything. All these drivers looking to drive on home across that yard of bricks at the finish and take home some, I don't know how they keep that milk that cold. I guess they must have a special fridge or something that they keep all that stuff in until the end of the race. But either way, they are getting ready here to add their names to that list as they come through turns 3 and 4. That pace car is going to be peeling off here in just a moment, which means it is time to go racing here. We got Kevin Winker, Curtis Critchley here at the front, all lined up, stacked up, 2 wide, ready to go racing. Green flag is up and being waved. Here we go, down and across the line here, running down into turns 1 and 2 as we kind of have that slow jockey for position as people are going to be side by side here until someone really picks up one of those kind of later runs. But there goes Curtis Critchley on that outside, picking up that lead spot right off the get-go, trying to maybe get a run here on Kevin Winker and kind of run away with this one early as Paul Durkee maintains that kind of 3rd position with the 20 of Justin Lawson behind him. And you can already see people starting to kind of spread out in single file.
Yeah, of course, Albert Anderson joining us on Facebook. Thanks for joining us. He's pulling for the 22. The other Albert McBride, he said, hang in there, you're getting better each race. Thanks for joining us, Albert. We appreciate you.
Yeah, you got to be patient here early. I think that's going to be the key because, like you said, it's tough to pass. Right now, tires are probably a little cold, and you don't want to overdrive it just yet.
Thank you, Boss Man Jenkins, for joining us on YouTube. Yo, let's go. This race brought to you by Davidson Builders. They've been in the business a long time, 23 years. So they know what they're doing. If you're out there around New Jersey area, give them a call, 609-600-2688, or go see them at davidson-builders.com. HCK.com. Well, we're still clean here.
That we are. We were able to fan out to that single file fairly quickly. I mean, we've still got a little 2-wide racing going on back here, you know, with the 31, the 42, the 5, the 7. You know, all these guys, you know, Stone Hutchinson, Derek Rowdy Puckett, Brad Taylor, you know, all these guys, they, you know, they're still racing, even though this is all the way back. You know, this is for a top 20, and that's definitely saying something. I mean, this field is still grouped up together as we've got a truck almost up into the wall, almost going 4 wide there for just a second, but able to drive out of that one, man. That was getting a little tight.
Yeah, Rowdy got out of that pretty quick. He didn't want nothing to do with that 3-wide business.
As we jump back up to the front real quick, we can still see that 27 of Critchley making his way around this track in that lead, followed by Winker, who is followed by Durkee, who is followed by Lawson, who is followed by Turbeville, and that's kind of like your main little pack there. And then you got a little gap all the way down there to Joshua Moore riding around in 6th right now. He's got Derek Welch all over that back bumper, who's got you know, Cody Staten there as well, with a little bit of a gap between him and the next group.
What's your mindset, Adam, if you're in this lead pack? Is it just, hey, let's stay off of each other and just click off laps and we'll save the fight for the end? Or are you really going to try to make every position you can now?
I would just try to stay where you're at. You know, tires are huge here. They're going to just fade quickly, so you're going to have to kind of pace yourself. Marathon, not a sprint. I mean, we're in 4 laps in, really clean racing, but there's no reason to get racy this early in the race. You know, just kind of feel out your competitor. You know, maybe play chess with him and see what he's doing. You know, that's the key. You got to kind of go with your competitors around you. You know, there's no reason to be a hero this early in the race.
Any side-by-side racing you do at this point is going to do nothing but hurt your tires, correct?
Oh, without a doubt, 100%. That's why you see so much single-file racing at this track, and you know, and other reasons as well. It doesn't mean it's bad racing; it's just a different style of racing than we're used to seeing with the super speedway.
And we are seeing some passing going on, just a little bit back here, but hey, what's the banking here? It's something like 14 degrees or 17 degrees or something like that. It's not much. I don't see them ever changing it either. Yeah, they could go rebank Atlanta, you know, and you know, people's not gonna cry murder about it. But can you imagine what would happen if somebody had the idea? Hey, let's go change the banking and stuff at Indy. You'd have people having strokes over that, wouldn't you?
This is built for open wheel cars anyway, and it's designed a certain way for that reason, so they're not going to ever change that, I don't think.
It's history too, man.
I mean, they did put a racetrack inside a football stadium in California, so who knows what they'll do.
Yeah.
But you know, you also got to look at it, right? Like iRacing Super Speedway, which these guys race at a ton. You know, look at all the banking that those corners have and all the dips and bumps going in and out of them. The way this track is laid out, it would be almost similar. It'd be very difficult to add banking to each, because each of these 4 corners here are actual 4 corners, not your typical NASCAR where it's just one kind of loop. It's, you know, 4 distinct different corners.
Yeah, that's a good point, because yeah, NASCAR typically they're basically two corners, right? We call them turn 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. When it's actually just 2 sweeping turns. This here is an actual turn, short straight, turn, long straight, and so on. So a lot different than what they're used to running.
That they are, but they're doing a great job. I mean, I'm watching the front pack up here right now, and you can see when they're coming out of these corners, drifting out towards that wall, man, they're doing a great job keeping it off the wall, but using all of that space to try to keep that momentum up and be in the gas as much as possible. Oh, as we maybe had a look there from Kevin Winker, but I think might have just pulled out of it just a little bit to make sure he was going to make that corner.
Yeah, and Paul Durkee in that Hawaiian Punch machine, that number 6 truck you see right there behind him. He's watching carefully. He's kind of sitting there waiting, seeing what's going to happen with that front
That's
end.
a cool paint job, but how about in 5th place, number 20, Justin Lawson? Bob's Big Boy. Remember those burger joints? They still have those?
Man, I don't know.
No, those were cool, man.
Just
I know they
San
were.
Antonio, I know years and years.
Yeah, we had them where I grew up as well. Man, brings back some cool memories.
Man, you ain't kidding us. The 75 of Brian Skidmore looks like he's got a run here on the 97 of Rodney Griffin. Rodney Griffin kind of falling back a few spots from where he started, but he's found a little bit of rhythm here, able to just hold off Brian for the time being as we kind of look through this field. Still, you know, pretty single filed out. Not too many noses being put in positions that they really shouldn't be, and everyone's definitely being very patient here tonight.
Trying to get my blimp cam adjusted just right so now I can see a little bit better. Just having problems seeing some of the numbers on these trucks.
Yeah, you got to kind of play with the cameras around here,
Yeah.
so they're kind of spread out. All right, let me ask you all this. We got a couple guys in here from Pennsylvania. Andrew Hansley, all right, Brad Taylor. There's another one, I believe, Paul Verdiani. They're all from Pennsylvania. I really want to know their thoughts on did you see the brawl at the Golden Corral over steak that happened this week?
No. I thought you were going to bring up something about Ben Roethlisberger.
No. They had a brawl at a Golden Corral over somebody took their last steak or something, man. I mean, there's some crazy people up there if you're doing stuff like that at the Golden Corral. That's wild.
It happens down here, but substitute Golden Corral steak for Popeye's chicken sandwich.
And that's where they stab them down there where you're at. I remember when the chicken sandwich came out, they were stabbing people. Yeah, it's crazy what people do over something silly, but it was a fun story. You know, nobody got hurt. Good video though.
Gregory Turner, thanks for joining us on Facebook, saying, "Let's go, guys! It's been a pretty good, clean race so far." It really has. These guys are spaced out. They're being patient.
That it has, as we got a pass here for a podium spot. The 64 Cale Turbeville looking to the inside of the 6 of Paul Durkee right now.
Ooh, come on. Cale ain't afraid to get in there and get a little bit aggressive.
Just not able to get that run. That's going to be one of those things. You've got to get it done within that first couple corners, because that outside is actually going to have more of a drive off coming off of these things, especially with that inside not being able to drift up the track. So it's going to be definitely one of those situations where you got to get, if you're going to make a move, you got to make that move happen. Otherwise, it ain't going to happen. And here he goes again, the 64 looking up through that inside of the 6. And this time he might just get it.
Used to be trying to throw a little side draft on him, and he's got it.
Yeah, he did. Let me ask you this, Brown, or in English. Looks like Durkee has just a tad bit of damage on his back right bumper. Does that have anything to do with what's going on with him, slowing him down at all?
I did not notice that. Let me go take a look.
Oh, it is on my screen. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Well, that in his right rear quarter panel, those side skirts on the sides of the truck, you rely on that too for handling purposes, aero handling purposes. But yeah, that little bit of aero damage might be affecting them because of the speeds they're seeing on the long front stretch and back stretch. Yeah, that little bit of aero damage looks like it might be slowing them down just a tick. Even if it's only a tenth or two per lap, it's going to add up.
And you know, where that damage is coming from, it looks like he might have fishtailed out into the wall just a little bit. And I mean, these walls are pretty unforgiving. I know we talk about how narrow it can get, especially down there across the start-finish line area with that pit wall right there, and you got the outside wall. But man, that wall will creep up on you, man, and it hits hard.
And the track temperature's actually risen a little bit, obviously, since they're out here running on 111 degrees. It's showing on my screen, so that's going to push you out there in those walls if you're not if you're kind of cooking it into the corner.
We may see a few more trucks yet and get that kind of Darlington-esque right rear quarter panel before it's over with.
You ain't kidding. As we had a little bit of a battle there between Skidmore and at least one of the Statons, if not the second Staton, was looking kind of racy there for a second. Lost a little momentum, but he's going to work to catch back on up. So that's a race for some top 10 spots there for 10th, 9th, and 8th. As really, Curtis Critchley and Kevin Winker, they're driving away with this one right now. Kevin Winker's occasionally lost a little bit of time to that 27, but he's been able to reel him back in just a little bit, just enough to, you know, make Curtis aware, like, hey man, I'm still back here. Don't forget me in that rear view.
I honestly didn't think we'd be having to talk about, hey, what's a pit window for fuel here? But so far, all green. Do you start trying to kind of plan how you want to split this up, just in case we do get a majority of green flag laps here? Do you want to try to split it into thirds? What are you going to try to do here?
You're gonna definitely should be planning if you didn't pre-race. So trying to figure it out. That's a good question. I don't know. I bet they're running tires at this point. I guess they're starting to feel it. I'm not turning. I never even feel it. So that's just a great question. I wish I had the answer for you there.
Man, it's the one of Derek Welch was getting racy there with the 51 of Joshua Moore. A little battle there for 6th and 7th. These guys have been running pretty tight here as this one's been going along. As we're now, you know, we're 16, almost 17 laps into this race already. See, Eddie Murray has come down pit road. He's maybe getting some new stuff as of right now. Ooh, we got a little slower truck there who's working his way around the track.
Yeah, I saw the 22 of, who is that?
Albert McBride.
McBride had Paul Durkee coming up on him really quick, and he stayed to the inside and let the 6 and the 20 around.
Yeah, he was coming out of the pit, so
oh, okay.
You know, so he must have had some reason he needed to pit or whatever. But he's back out there, no harm, no foul. Durkee got around him.
That he did, as the race for 6th still going on between Moore and Welch, as Kevin Winker coming down into the pits here, lap 17.
Okay, well.
Oh, as we got a almost taker there with Brian Skidmore, but I think he realized, I'm not going to be able to slow this one up in time. I'll just go around again.
Well, that's something that Adam was talking about pre-race. It's kind of hard to get down there quick and get that thing down to speed before you hit that first cone, because you better be down to, what is the speed limit, 55? No, it's 60.
65. 60?
Gotta be down to 60 miles an hour.
I mean, when you're going 180 miles an hour and you got to drop it down that quick and you're coming out of a turn, I mean, there's a lot happening inside the cockpit of that truck. So simulation on a game, iRacing, great simulator. Even the real pros use this thing, so it has its quirks, but I think it's a great platform, and it's fun to watch these guys out here tonight. HCK Beagles Racing League. As
we're going to have a big chunk of takers coming down here. Joshua Moore and that 51's coming down. Skidmore, Cody Staton. You got Rodney Griffin also coming down. Still a few people staying out there. One of those being Richard Michelob Gray. And that 110 truck, man, he's driving around pretty well. He's up 8 spots right now before this thing fully cycles on around. He's riding around in 12th. But as of right now, looks like your hard charger of the race so far is that 10 of Stone Hutchinson, who I think here once again is not driving with the correct number. His car number is 42, but I think his actual number is the 10.
And Numb Thumbs Gaming on social media there. What's that on YouTube? Watching us on YouTube, saying go NTG. And that would, the Numb Thumbs team out there, Numb Thumbs Racing, is Derek Welch, Nathan Stanley in the 67, and Richard Gray. So those numb thumbs guys out there trying to do their team proud tonight. Get some support from the online folks.
Yeah, kind of going back to how tough this, pit stops are, going to be here on Green Flag. The one thing they do have going for them here, though, is it's on a straightaway. It's not like coming immediately out of corner and going through like a tri-over or something. If you got to bail out, like, man, I'm not going to make it, you can bail out pretty easily without really fluffing it up too bad.
Yeah, that cone's still a ways out, when you get out of turn 4, but definitely don't want to foul it up too bad because you lost a lot of time on that lap, and now you got to go all the way around.
Yeah, that indeed, as Stone Hutchinson now comes down, as Justin Lawson in that 20. Man, I wonder if he had an issue because the one of Derek Welch came flying up out of absolutely nowhere and was able to steal that spot away like it was nothing.
It's just kind of all spread itself out here with these different pit strategies here. I'm trying to sort out who's where. It gets a little confusing when they're spread out at 2.5 miles around the track. But they've kept it clean, which is pretty impressive.
Numb Thumbs Gaming on YouTube saying they better win or somebody's going to get banned.
Well,
I guess Richard heard that. He's coming in to get some tires, huh?
He must have said, hey, put that thing in there and get some new tires. You're losing ground. But he went all the way to 8th. The Numb Thumbs Gaming Machine, Richard Michelob Gray. So he's in pits, looks safely. That's not easy feat, slowing it down like that.
Donnie Turbo Bill saying long runs, I bet on the boy every time. Go Swifty, go. Out, of course, pulling for Cale Turbo Bill out there in that 64 machine. Real good on long runs. You got that right. Albert Anderson said, I'm definitely taking 4 stickers on this pit stop. You do not want to gamble with 2 here. No way.
No, sirree.
100% on that.
As that 27, Curtis Critchley coming on down, and that's going to, I think, bring the rest of the people that have not pitted quite yet down pit road here. As Paul Durkee, Derek Welch, Justin Lawson, Bay Area Rob Chowdhury in that 408 is going to come on down. And I think that's just about going to complete the pit cycle here. I think just a couple of last-minute non-takers. The 45, Michael Grenolds still needs to come down. Same thing with that 24 of Andrew Hansley, the 4th. As Michael Grenolds will hold the lead here until the pit stops completely cycle around. But, man, talk about a heck of a pit time there for Winker. Did he just take fuel, or did he take 2?
Yeah, one or the other, but the longer we go green here, the more he may look back on that decision and go, well, I should have waited. But you can't think that way. You just, once you pick a strategy, you got to see it through until such a time you can try to fix it. But yeah, once Critchley came down, I knew your last final holdout guys weren't going to be very long.
I mean, I know we're focusing on Critchley a lot here. That was a very long pit stop for him, 55 seconds that he was in the box. So I wonder if he had a little bit of damages in there that he wanted to just get banged out manually, and he's going to be down quite a few spots. And I mean, he's your standings leader right now with Kevin Winker. He's right there behind him, and Kevin Winker's now, he was basically right on that tail of Critchley, and he's now way out in front of this thing, by 12, 13 seconds over Joshua Moore and Cale Turville back here.
Well, I mean, Curtis, if he gets caution here later on, that's going to kind of fix most of that. We'll get everybody kind of crowded back up together. But Brian Skidmore in the 75 up 6 spots. Sitting in 4th place right now behind Cale. A pretty good race for Brian out there. he's one of those guys that pitted at 17, a couple laps before your race leaders. Kind of have their own little strategy deal going on. I mean, if you really think about it, that just turns it into a 3-stop race for him.
And I mean, even looking at it, people like Cale who pitted on lap 20, which means the next time we expect him to come down is right there around lap 40. Question is, can you push it, those extra laps? Are you coming down because of fuel, or are you coming down because of tires here this early? So if you can run 30 laps, man, you could possibly just, 2-stop this race.
Yeah, you could 2-stop it, but just those tires just being so bad like that, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't have a clue. Yeah, I don't know how you would do that, but hey, these guys know a little bit more than I do. I'm up here in the booth for a reason. I'm retired, so they have a more feel of the truck too. We're not getting that up here in the booth. We're just having our experience here, or stuff we've been told. So,
and
but
that's
definitely some interesting strategies out there.
That's right. This isn't Michigan. We can't rely on your intuition here.
Right. I do know everything about Michigan. I think I told you all that like 80 times.
That's Cale Turbeville makes a move and gets it done on that 51 of Joshua Moore. So Cale back up into second, having himself a great night, as that one of Derek Welch is kind of mired in between a couple trucks here. In 10th, he's got Zach Dillon in that 120, having a pretty solid race up there for him. He's riding around in 9th with Brad Taylor behind Welch. That 31 truck sitting in 11th, having a solid night as well. And like I said, this is going to be one of those races, man. If you can end up in that top 15, especially if you end up in one of those top 10s, man, you had to drive the heck out of one of these trucks.
I'm sitting here watching the gap shrink between first and second.
Issue in right in front of Story. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Eddie Murray hit the wall there and caused no issues with anyone else, but 33 hit the wall, and he's just sitting there.
Well, we really don't have anything else to watch right now. Let's go back and watch what happened. Yeah, just pushing out to that outside wall and back down towards that infield. And yeah, he's got a smoking engine and spraying for those mosquitoes.
Yeah, sorry, English. I just saw some action. I thought there might be a fight or something. I didn't mean to bother your commentary.
Well, we got to add to y'all's commentary. We got 2 fast repairs. He might have a messed up motor and messed up suspension and stuff, but they got 2 fast repairs. So get her fixed back up there, Eddie, and get back out there.
Yeah, and the only reason I noticed that, I was watching Eric Stoy in the back of his on the tailgate. It says it's a bad day to be a bush light or something like that. I thought that was pretty funny. My kind of tailgate.
So what I was mentioning earlier was I'm watching the gaps just shrink more and more between the one of Winker, who he either took 2 tires or he took fuel only. And that gap between him and the 64 of Cale Turbeville continues to shrink. It's at about 11 seconds now.
Well, not only that, too, but look how early we are in this race. Oh, excuse me, as I try to put a water bottle back down. Winker could see that gap behind him and be like, man, I can use this time to save the fuel that I need, so it's not, coming down into crunch time. You can save the tires, you can save the fuel, you can save whatever you want. And, you got that cushion of room as, the lap time difference is almost, a second a lap difference between first and second here.
So he's got a few laps before that 64 catches him, probably.
No, most undoubtedly. But, also, behind Cale, not too far off, 2 seconds behind him is the 51 or more, who is Kevin Winker's teammate there. So you know, things could come into play if those cars, trucks, whatever you want to call them, all get lined up here again as the 97 of Rodney Griffin is caught up to that 15 of Cody Staten. Paul Durkee is still riding around right there with them as well. So we still got a good battle going on here, 5th, 6th, and 7th, as Paul Durkee looks to the inside of Griffin. Looks like he's going to be able to snag that position away fairly okay, and he's now going to try to line up that 15 of Cody.
Yeah, look at the right side of Rowdy Puckett's number 8 Budweiser machine. It looks a lot like the 6 of Durkee we saw earlier. He's got a little Darlington body work going on there. And the yellow's out. I didn't see that one coming.
I'm trying to find it myself.
I want to also thank... Go ahead, sir.
I'm just looking around. The yellow came out. I don't know if it came out before or what, but the 33 of Eddie Murray having another issue there. Ooh, man, that was a big time oops. As also Stone Hutchinson having an issue. Yeah, I think that's what brought out the caution, is that 33 and that 10 getting involved in a little something down there right in front of the pits.
Jonathan Osborne joining us on Facebook. Thanks for joining us, Jonathan. He's saying, hey, everybody. Always good to see him on here. Good to see him race tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
Andy race the series.
Man, that was a wild crash there. And that turn 4 always for me was always kind of tough if your tires are kind of loose. You know, we mentioned it going into the pits, but you can overdrive it too and spin it, kind of like what Eddie Murray did there. You know, this track is very technical for an oval. I'll give it that.
And you are definitely not kidding, but still, give these guys credits. I know last week it was a little rough. We started off a little not the way things wanted to go, but it eventually kind of evened things out. But they must have been running practice after practice after practice here, because I mean that was essentially halfway before we even saw our first caution. And I mean, really, that was our first instance of a caution, maybe even questioning needed to be thrown.
Yeah, these guys have been super clean. I'm actually glad we saw one kind of, you know, put everybody kind of back together and get some more racing going.
Yeah, they definitely did some practicing this week. I know I saw them throw up a few sessions and advertise it to the guys. That's always good to have a league that encourages guys to practice and get out there and run a little bit, so they know what to expect come Tuesday night.
Yeah, Winker took all 4 there, just so y'all know. He's good to go now.
Oh, that he is, and he was able to get right out in front of Cale Turbeville there, followed by Durkee, Skidmore, Griffin, Staten, Ferdiani, Moore, Welch, and Lawson. I don't think we had any big losers, really, other than maybe the 51 of Joshua Moore, who was in those pits just that little extra couple seconds there, 19.5-second pit stop. So that's going to lose him a few spots, as everyone's looks to be right around that average. Seeing who's got that money pit crew here tonight, and right now it looks like it might be that 97 Rodney Griffin having a 14.45.
Well, that's pretty quick. That's pretty quick for iRacing standards.
These HCK Beagles guys are putting on a great race for the Davidson Builders 175 at Indianapolis. I mean, what a show they're putting on, man. You know, I mean, it is spread out, but very clean racing.
And you ain't kidding, but talking about that sponsor there, Davidson Builders LLC, you can definitely go check them out on their website. And they even got a little gallery of all the work that they've done. And man, talk about some beautiful homes that they've been a part of. It's A+ quality work in there.
Yeah, just looking at the pictures of the kitchens and stuff they did, and bathroom remodels, and just really neat stuff. And you know, you can try to do tile yourself, but you're never going to make it look like that. These guys are the real pros. Over 2 decades of experience these guys have in the industry out there in New Jersey. So definitely give them a call at 609-600-2688. Check them out on social media too.
And you know, tell them HCK Beagles sent you over there.
Veteran owned and operated.
Ooh, that's a company you got to get behind right there.
Discounts for military, fire, first responders.
Man, I almost wish I was in Jersey right now. Because if I get I've done tile before, and you know, it takes about 30 cold beers, you know. And then I look at it and I'm like, man, why do we have to dig this up? Well, because you drank all the beer. It's me and my buddies doing tile. So I would have to call Davidson to help me out on something like that. You ever been involved in one of those things where you're helping a buddy out and you're doing a remodel or something in the house, flooring or painting, and you all have too many cold ones and it goes kind of awry? No, just me.
I don't remember, and that's probably not good.
The only thing I can equate that to is, you know, going over to a buddy's helping him, you know, take apart or put his motorcycle back together, and then you get all done, like, yeah, hey, we're finished, and then you got that one bolt that's remaining, and you have no idea where it goes.
Extra part, yeah.
But it's a little more important, but it doesn't look like it's an important bolt, right? It's only, you know, it's pretty small. It probably goes to a fender or something, but you're still not sure, and you double check everything, like, yeah, no, it doesn't go there, doesn't go there.
A lot of those end up in coffee cans. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just throw it in a coffee can. I'm like, well, I'll figure it out later.
It probably went in a flux capacitor or something. You guys just, no big deal.
As we get ready to get stacked back up here to go back to green flag racing with your kind of remainder second half of this race. I mean, I think we're going to be going back green exactly at halfway, so these guys making it to that halfway point pretty clean here. I'll wait for everyone to officially choose their lines, as I believe the lights on that pace car are off.
Let me look. They did extend it.
Oh, they did extend it?
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
It might have been wave arounds, make sure everyone gets all lapped back around.
Well, the lights on the pace car are off, so I think they're just trying to re-rack and get back to racing here. We'll see.
We do. It's just one of those interesting things. We see the top 4 or 5 guys single file, and everyone else behind them's too wide. But there we go. Now they're spreading out. I think, who knows? Kale might have been, you know, sitting in that pace draft, just trying to save that little extra fuel burn.
Jonathan Osborne says he can't wait for the grudge race between the HCK Beagles and Vigilantes at Talladega. That's coming up later this month, though.
Only a couple weeks.
The details later.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. All
As
right.
that pace car comes off down into the pit road, back to green flag racing here. Winker, Turville up at front. Durkee, Skidmore right behind them, and a great restart there for that 42 of Winker, able to get out in front pretty easily, so he's going to be able to arc the corners of 1 and 2 pretty well. Man, Paul Durkee sending it down through the inside of Skidmore there, able to keep his spot up there in that kind of top 3 spot for right now, as everyone's still kind of, I don't want to say single file. We've got a little bit of
120's around.
Yeah, issue in the back. Was it
Stayed
the
off the
120?
racing surface. Yep.
Zach
He's good
Dillon,
to go.
yeah.
Zach Dillon with a great save there, able to collect it all back on and get rolling here once again. Just as we were saying, you know, it's not single file 100%. We got some races going on back here towards the back, you know, 15th and on, but there's definitely some action going on.
It's in the back front stretch. Wow, I was watching Zach Stay and it happened in front of him.
Staying green though here.
Staying green. Well, I think that truck ended up going down pit lane.
It did. It landed right in pit lane. Wow, that was wild.
Oh no, Derek Welch is around, and that'll bring out the yellow. Right there in the turn. Oh, and the 24 cannot avoid him. Big damage on both of those trucks.
Oh, it was Ferdiani on the first incident. Right down pit road. Wow.
Oh, yeah, the 8 and the 1 just getting together there. Don't know if it was a disagreement on where they were going to brake. Oh, yeah, I think the 1 was braking a little early. The 8 had a run and was kind of wanted to go up the inside, but he had the 88 of Staten right there underneath him. And he said it was Ferdiani that had an issue. Let's go back and see what Ferdiani's issue was.
Yeah, that was the incident before the flag came out. He went straight down the pit road.
Oh my goodness!
That
that was dangerous.
Yeah, you can imagine that in VR. I've got VR now, and
oh man,
I would have definitely. I don't know.
Oh yeah, getting loose off of turn. Oh goodness, send the ambulance to that man. It was yeah, he was loose coming off of turn 4 and drifted up the track just as the 1 was trying to avoid him up high. Came shooting back down the track, getting a little bit of a rear end push there as well. I didn't catch a number on that, but ouch, that was dangerous.
Did you catch the 24 not being able to stop, smacking into the 1?
I did see that, yep.
Well, the 1 right now is on his way down pit road, just limping it in. He's going to need that fast repair.
Howard Anderson saying that just what we're all thinking. He said this track is mentally taxing. It's not an easy track to race. It really does wear on your nerves, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you because you're constantly having to battle. You know, where are your tires? Where's your competitor? You know, you're going to have to lift a little bit earlier. You know, every couple laps. You know, the track temperature is still 113 degrees. That does not help the situation out here.
Dustin Really doing a little spying action. He's checking in on the HCK guys tonight, saying. He said, I got my eyes on these guys just to see if there's any talent out there. Doing a little scout. Of course, we know that Justin Really in that 37 on Wednesday nights always puts on a pretty good show. And he's taking notes right now, I'm sure.
Oh my goodness, we got breaking news coming in here, folks.
Oh, what we got?
You wouldn't happen to know what day is coming up here pretty quickly, do you, there, Turner?
No,
it ain't
February.
my birthday.
No, it'd be Groundhog Day, and Punxsutawney Phil has passed away.
Well, do they have a backup? I mean, don't it's like NASCAR, right?
From what I hear, is they're scrambling to crown a new Phil, but yeah, good old Punxsutawney Phil.
That's
no
not
longer with us.
That's not a good sign the day before Groundhog's Day. Hey, English, go trap one of them jokers. I know you got that whole thing set up, and fly it up there.
I just been trapping squirrels. Do you think they notice? Maybe I can shave his tail.
Send him one of your squirrels. We can't let this tradition die, or the movie. That was a great movie, by the way. One of my favorites with Bill Murray.
Wasn't it? It's one you can watch over and over and over and over again.
No, just the once was good.
I can't believe they don't have a backup field. That is,
yeah, you would have to. Why wouldn't you?
How you not do it? It's the day before. I mean, I'm still waiting on the punchline, Brown. Is this a pun?
No, I'm being dead serious.
Golly,
He's got the pulse of New England in his fingertips up there.
Yeah, it's true.
It takes hours for that to get down here to us. Now I'm concerned actually about this winter death storm coming in here to the Red River.
Good. That's not good, man. It's going to bring
It's a bad. It's like breaking a mirror.
Bad omen. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. It was,
He was morbidly obese. Let's be honest with ourselves here.
What they all are, aren't they? It's for the winter time. It's hibernation. Don't they hibernate or something?
Yeah, they just wake him up. I mean,
okay, I got misinformation.
Morning breath. And
I got misinformation. It was Milltown Mel, the New Jersey counterpart to.
Oh, we don't need that guy. Okay, so there's the fake Punxsutawney. So there's like towns that have rivalry groundhogs.
Yeah,
this is a whole new.
I guess so.
They have a crawfish down here somewhere. I think it's down in New Roads or something. If the New Roads crawfish sees his shadow, it's the same type of deal. Mardi Gras lasts an extra 2 days or something. I don't know.
Oh my goodness, I can't keep up with all y'all.
They push back Fat Tuesday if the crawfish doesn't see his shadow or something. I don't know.
That's so dumb, but I love it. We're gonna race again here, I think.
That we are, as that pace car comes off down into pit road, trying to get this one off and running once again. And here we go down and across that yard of bricks here with just a little over 30 laps remaining. Kevin Winker out there in front of Cale Turbeville and Paul Durkee, with Brian Skidmore just hot on their heels. Good Lord, my mouse goes flying off my desk.
Got a lot of too wide back here. Guys not wanting to give up position or fall in line.
Got a 31 and a 5, Brad Taylor and Naylor going at it. Yeah.
Rows in front of them. A lot of too wide action right there. 3 wide even is the 5 on the bottom here. It's the 67s on the outside, and 31 in the middle. Ooh, I'm glad they sorted that out before they got into the turn.
I'm glad I was able to figure out where my mouse fell off to so I could go back and actually see it. But yeah, you saw that 3 wide action able to get sorted out here back, and I mean, this is a fight for a top 20 spot. These guys are not giving it up. It's not necessarily for a win, but they're definitely putting in the effort here tonight. And it's looks like Cody Staten and Justin Lawson are nose to tail, doing a pretty good job up here in 5th, 6th, 7th area. But also keep your eye on that 27, Curtis Critchley. He's now back up into 9th after that kind of bizarre little pit stop action that he had going on there. I don't know if he had to get up to use the restroom or what, but he's slowly managing to work his way back up, sitting in 9th as of right now, but he's got a whole bunch of traffic to work through if he wants to catch back up to Winker.
I think maybe he just got kind of tired of being out front, so maybe he
wanted a challenge.
Just took a break, yeah, so he could work his way up there. He's already back to 9th, so I don't think we've seen the end of him.
Well, you may wonder why these guys are fighting so hard for these positions, even towards the back. It's because every race matters. Every point you can get will matter towards the end of the season. This is a long season. I think it's, 20 races? 20 races long. We're about halfway through this season. So these guys are taking a look at the point standing before they jump in this truck and, trying to talk themselves up. What do I got to do? Who is ahead of me in points that I need to make sure I'm at least in front of them to advance my position in the standings. So a lot of point watching going on here especially once the last half of the season gets underway.
Yeah, we still got a little bottleneck here. 11th through 15th looks like. Pretty good racing. Dylan Ellis is trying to hold that inside and fight these guys off for 12th, and Rob Chowdhury's trying to make a pass here with his dented up Athletics Oakland A's truck.
Dylan Ellis in the 18. That's a name we haven't really mentioned tonight, but he started way back towards the back in 21st. Well, 2/3 of the way through. Up to 12th now. So Dylan keeping the grind going there. He's up a bunch of spots.
as successfully negotiating out of a 3-wide situation that he had going on. Same thing here with the 51 of Joshua Moore going side by side here with, I believe that's that 4 of Eric Stoy. Oh, as the 51 goes up, snags that outside wall just a little bit.
Yeah, Josh Moore sporting that Muhlenberger Custom Homes paint job on that truck. See them in a few more races this season. But tonight's sponsor, another builder, Davidson Builders. Go check them out, Davidson-Builders.com. There's a couple other Davidson Builders out there. These guys are the legit ones in the state of New Jersey. Go check them guys out. We're talking about their gallery of all the work they've done, and get somebody that's got the experience doing it. 23 years in the business out there in Jersey. Give them guys a shout. Well, guys, are y'all disappointed in this racing, or is it kind of what you wanted?
No, it's been very, very solid. And I think, it's pit strategy is going to come into play here late, as we got a whole bunch of cars scattering around here. It looks like maybe that truck of Stone Hutchinson had an issue, got tagged in that outside wall, able to collect it back, but everyone had to scatter and work their way around, so no more of an issue there, as that 27 of Curtis Critchley continues to move forward up through this field, now up into 5th, trying to chase down that 75 of Brian Skidmore to move up into that top 4.
Jordan Mitchell saying, go Stone and go D-Boy. Justin really says we got to beat these guys in a plate race. And Justin really said that that race is going to be on the 15th of February. He's challenging everybody. Go out there and see who comes out on top. We're going to be taking bets, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got a part-time bookie that works for us, so I won't name names. But, no, I think it's going to be a good race, because these guys produce here. Those guys in that other league, Vigilante, they produce. So everybody's going to put on a good show for that. So I'm looking forward to it. But my eyes are on this one tonight. And these guys at HCK Beagles are putting on a show, man, for the technical track they're dealing with here.
Albert Anderson, he says, I wonder what they'll do with Punxsutawney Phil's body. He says, biscuits and gopher gravy is delicious, though. Just saying.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
But we found out it's not Punxsutawney Phil. It's
Mel. What's the guy's name? The other Groundhog Brown.
I think it's Milton Mel.
All right, well, let's cook him up with some biscuits. I'm down for that. I've had all the Cajun lucha rat gravy and raccoon gumbo I can taste. So why not have a groundhog? I don't care.
Awesome.
I'll try
dumplings. So Numb Thumbs Gaming is saying that Davidson Builders is a veteran-owned business, owned and operated. Fantastic member of their community. He said family/community. I mean, the Numb Thumbs gaming community, it's a very close-knit group of guys, and it's good that they support each other like this, getting one of the guys' businesses out there. And he's on that #1 truck. He's on the hood of that truck. You can see there, Davidson Builders. Got to support our veteran-owned businesses for sure, because they give back to their community as well. Ask them about discount.
They gave to their country, so this
and
you
they're
got to support them.
Give.
Right.
They're continuing to give discounts for firefighters, cops, all first responders, and military folks as well. So good things going on over there at Davidson Builders. Well, Brian Skidmore still hanging in there, hanging on to a top 5 in that 75 truck, up from 10th. He's one of those guys that here last couple of races, I've had my eye on the 75, watching how consistent he runs.
Yeah, he does. And I was just kind of looking at, I saw a little shade on the track. I'm like, is it cooling off? No, it's 116. So
it keeps going up.
These tires, they're probably hitting that window where these tires are about shot. But, or I mean, you obviously, do you want to split it? How you want to make it as far as you can,
Well,
right? To kind of split it.
Yeah, it kind of depends on where, what strategy you committed to already is where you're going to be trying to split it from. We'll see. Albert Anderson said this Critchley guy's no joke. He is fast. He's got quite a few wins. What's he got? 3 wins on the season already?
Yeah, I think he's kind of one of those big-time iRacers. He's pretty good at this thing.
He's back up to 4th after his big long.
Well, the top guys here in the top 10 are all on 31. Last pitted on 31, and then you have Brad Taylor. Looks like 37th lap was when he pitted. So there's going to be some strategy in here, and who does what and when.
Well, they first pitted about lap 17, 18. So 17 or 18 to 30. That's 12-ish laps. 12, 13 laps. So we may be coming in on a pit stop here soon.
Yeah, even some of those people that pushed it out to, as Paul Durkee and Curtis Critchley, here they come down pit road, starting that big old cycle. I was just going to say, and it looks like we're entering that window of about 20 laps, give or take. So got some big names coming on down, but Kevin Winker's still out there running around. Same thing with Cale Turbeville. He's doing a great job maintaining second place right now, having himself a solid race. Brian Skidmore moving up into 3rd. Man, talk about the 12 of Austin Johnson, up 17 spots right now into 13th. Oh, wow. He's having a fantastic run tonight.
Yeah, that 12 is definitely on the move. Sporting the HCK big paint.
Eric Stoy in 5th place. He's up 17 as well. We'll see if he's won these tires this lap around or not, or he's going to push it. SSP Racing Machine. Looks like he's going to go another lap out there.
That he will. Same thing with Cale Turbeville as Kevin Winker comes down into the pits, bringing a whole crew of people down with him as well. Brian Skidmore, Cody Staten, Josh Moore, and Zach Staten all coming down. So that's a good chunk of your Team America guys all flying down into the pits. And that's going to let that 64, Cale Turbeville, lead some laps here.
How long do you think he stays out? Him and Eric Stoy out there? We know the couple guys behind them, Taylor and Griffin, they pitted a little bit later. They can maybe stretch it out a little bit, get a point or two for leading a lap. But if you're Cale or Eric, what do you do here? Do you go ahead and follow them down in the next lap or two, or you just stay out and try to stretch it?
Well, he's staying out now, but the problem is, at this point, barring any green-white checkers or something like that, everybody should be able to make it from this point on in.
Comes Bay Area Rob down.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure their strategy. Maybe they're waiting on another caution, maybe. I don't know. It seems a little risky, kind of like shooting dice in Waco at a place called Papa Joe's.
Well, if I'm the 64, what I may do is just make a few more laps, have my fingers crossed for a caution. If you don't get it, you're going to have better tires later than the guys that just pitted. So let's just wait and see.
And as he does come on into the pits, that's going to allow Eric Stoy now to lead a few laps here with Brad Taylor, Rodney Griffin, Derek Welch. You also got Steven Naylor there needing to come down the pits still too.
Yeah, Eric Stoy's out there working harder than a real Mrs. Poindexter tonight in that bad day to be a Busch Light tailgate.
Had a little 3 wide with that was Ferdiani, and it was the 97 of Griffin. Let's see who that other truck was. 3 wide for a second. That kind of got hairy on the on the front stretch there.
And you were not kidding as we kind of tuned into that one just a little late, but still caught a piece of that action as everyone through these pit cycles may not be all for position. Everybody's kind of spread out and whatnot as Stoy now comes down pit lane. Same thing with Brad Taylor and Rodney Griffin. So that's going to leave Derek Welch out there, Num Thumbs Gaming Community, #1. He's staying out, getting some laps led. And same thing with that 45 of Michael Reynolds. He's staying out there, who knows, maybe trying to put in that little bit of extra time here now so he doesn't have to worry about it later on.
Watching old Michelob out here trying to put a little crossover move on Henry Wyndham in the 28. Richard Gray didn't quite make it happen, and now he's going to lose that spot there to the 88.
He's also kind of mired in some crazy traffic here as he's still up the inside there.
Yeah, he's held on to it.
Able to hold on to that spot, and he's now got a little bit of work to do to catch back up to that 28 of Henry Wyndham.
Ferdiani's fighting a real bad loose condition right now. I just saw him get real loose again, and then swing down to pretty much where the apron starts to try to regain some speed. He last pitted lap 51, so I mean, his tires are fairly new. He may have some other issues with that truck.
Well, we're roughly 15 laps to go on this thing, and pretty much caution-free for the most part. It's been a lot of green flag racing, green flag pit stops.
One caution at what? We went back green at 35, so lap 31 or so it came out. Right at the end of a pit cycle, which kind of made things interesting.
That it did, as Derek Welch and Michael Reynolds still have not yet to come down. Still waiting on that, as there goes Michael Reynolds down pit lane. He's gonna try to have a quick pit stop, but
you know what this is? This is getting that sponsor's hood out there, getting that sponsor logo on the hood of that number 1 truck out there, getting a little camera time for Davidson Builders.
Hey, that's pretty smart, right?
Yeah. Adam Strong saying, "Evening, fellas. Been a pretty clean race so far." Yes, sir. Thanks for joining us as always, Adam.
That it certainly has, as Welch continues to lead this one around. But knowing he still has to come down, let's take a little bit of a focus here as Curtis Critchley able to make his way up back through this field. Great pit time for him, a 13:60. So that's, you know, a 4-tire with fuel, everything. Ooh, man, he paid off his pit crew there as he's trying to chase down that 42 of Winker, but that's a gap of currently just over 3 seconds.
The 121 of Dusty Smith. Who's that in front of him? Stand by. It was the 42 of Stone Hutchinson. He's kind of dog walking that truck. As Derek Welch finally comes into pit in that number 1 truck.
We're going to be still, yeah, we're still green flag racing, as I think everyone's able to kind of roll on out of it.
Yeah, they got around to Dusty Smith coming into the pits. He's got that mosquito truck look to him.
Got a little smoke coming out there.
Yes, sir. Yahtzee.
As Kevin Winker is now going to take the lead back once again. He's going to be sitting in that top spot with a just right around 3.5 second lead over Curtis Critchley there in that 27. And there's a 2-second gap all the way back to Cale Turbeville. They're sitting in 3rd right now. Joshua Moore able to fight back some of the issues he was having there in that 51. He's running around in 6th as of right now. Steven Naylor's having a great battle out here with I think Dylan Ellis trying to make up some ground, get himself up to 13th, maybe even 12th before this one ends. But that is definitely kind of going to be where it is at. As oh, there he is. As Kevin Winker had blinked out of existence there for just a second, but he is now back. As Michael Hicks has an issue, and we are still green.
Michael Hicks in the 76. Hadn't mentioned his name much tonight either. 3 laps down. Been hanging around the back most of the day. Out there turning laps, though.
Ooh, hard impact to that outside wall, into that infield, taking a tumble and a rumble down across that infield. Able to, I guess you could kind of say, stick the landing a little bit and whatnot, but his truck is not looking too good there.
Henry Wyndham fighting Derek Welch for position. Derek, of course, on those brand spanking new tires, able to get around the 28. So as we wind down, it looks like you got some of the usual suspects out there in front. Kevin Winker, Curtis Christian, Cale Turbeville. These guys pretty much dominated this season. We did see, who was it earlier in the season? Rick Spencer Walt. Of course, we haven't seen him here lately. He was one of those guys that was running up towards the front. Not here tonight, but these guys up here in the top 5, really putting on a pretty damn good showing and being consistent as they usually are.
Yeah.
I did hear the 110 truck on the radio. Sound like they weren't real happy about something. We'll take a look. See anything? I don't see anything. I know we came around Henry Wyndham at lap 60.
And he also passed Austin Johnson back on lap 61 for him. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything there.
Huh. Well, Richard does have a little bit of right rear damage that we have seen quite often tonight. Got that Darlington stripe going on that Numb Thumbs Racing number 110.
Yeah, man, you are definitely not kidding. As we return to our leader here for just a second, that gap still maintaining, if not growing, just a little bit, almost out to 4 seconds now. I wonder if Curtis Critchley had maybe snagged that outside wall or something, because he's not running as fast as he once was. I'm not really seeing any damage to that car.
He may have a suspension issue or something that we can't see. If you can't steer, you can't be fast anyway.
Hopefully he heard that, and that would be the rally train rolling through. As we got Eric Stoy having a little battle here with Cody Staten, catching on up to each other here. Same thing with Brad Taylor and Paul Durkee having a little battle. These are all for within a top 10 position. Brad currently sitting there in 10th, trying to pass Paul Durkee there for 9th, with Eric Stoy and Cody Staten fighting over a 7th.
Yeah, usually I can mute the microphone right before the train gets here. I didn't quite make it that time.
Oh, I heard it. It was amazing. That just means we're going to have a good end to this race.
You're not kidding. But not only that, the 27's now getting caught up by that 64 of Cale Turbeville. Man, Cale has run a fantastic race here tonight. He's been all over that top 5, really never leaving it. Hasn't really challenged all that much for, taking the lead or anything, but man, he's definitely been making his presence known here tonight.
Well, you saw his pop talking on social media about Cale's a long run driver, and we have had some really long runs out here. I guess you could say he's out there putting on a clinic, showing how to make a car run on a long stint like this. Several of these guys are real good at that, but he's definitely one of your standouts, I think.
As we are entering now, 6 laps remaining. Big gap out there to Kevin Winker. Still just right around under 4 seconds. But Cale Turberville all over that back bumper of Critchley right now. Trying to make a move, try to get up into that second place. Looking up to the inside of the 27. It looks like that 27 is just going to let him right on by.
Yep, Brandon Noah saying, "Go Winker, Team America, represent, and Wisconsin." And Joel Moore pulling for Joshua Moore in the 51. Thanks for joining us on YouTube, guys.
Ooh, as we got some slicing and dicing going on back here between Stoy and Moore. They're going side by side down and across the line. Little battle for 6th here now with 5 laps to go. And looks like as of right now, Eric Stoy getting that benefit of the position. Same thing with the 1 and the 5. Stephen Naylor and Derek Welch going side by side.
Yeah, Naylor went ahead and gave that one up. Go ahead.
Josh Moore last pitted at lap 31, so did the smart thing, let Story right on by him.
Josh, one of them guys just holding out, hoping for a late caution here, because he knows by this point, those guys are going to be taking tires too, the ones that took tires after him. So gained a lot of track position, that 51. Back up where he started, right there in 6th place. Well, about to come down to it. Won't be long now. We're going to figure out how this podium's going to shake out.
Man.
Up on what, 3 to go?
Yeah, it looks like it here with Winker still pretty good gap.
Cody Staten catching up to Josh Moore. Teammates going at it here, the 51 and the 15. 15 can't quite complete that pass. Looks like the 51's going to get the... Well, 51 got a piece of the wall. 31's going to take advantage maybe here. As 51 comes down, kind of closes that door. Bit of heavy racing back here for about 8th and 9th position. Man, some great racing out here on this narrow, flat, but historic brickyard. Home of the brickyard out here.
Oh, I mean, same thing here. You got a battle for a top 4. You got Brian Skidmore, Justin Lawson, and Eric Stoy all right there bunched up together. Excuse me, it's just Skidmore and Lawson who are all kind of knotted up here. Man, they're going back and forth, and it looks like that 75 of Skidmore able to take that position away from Lawson. But man, Lawson is not going to keep sitting down on that one, as they're kind of having this battle going on right around a lap car as well. So that's playing an interesting factor into this, as well as we now have 2 laps remaining here, as Kevin Winker continues to drive the wheels off of that truck and maintains that lead, still just over 3.5 seconds.
Zach Dillon might be a couple of laps down, but it's still his right to race these guys. He's not going to give up and just let the 20 go and play with the 75 up there. He's, well, it looks like he lifted that time.
But he raced him really tough, though.
Yeah, he was.
So, and now he had the right to. So that was kind of a cool little battle, too, as Justin Lawson's going to try to work his way in front of Skidmore here. We'll see if they can do it with a... Oh, Lawson hit the wall.
Oh, and that's going to cause a little crisscross applesauce action going on down and across the line. But either way, a caution would not have come out, because the leader, Kevin Winker, had already crossed the line and taken that white flag. So this is the final lap here tonight at Indianapolis. It's been a good one. It's been a clean one. It's been an exciting one. But no more less important than Kevin Winker picking up another win here. Just one more corner remaining, and he will find himself in that winner's circle. Coming out of turn number 4 now, no issues whatsoever, able to zigzag down this front straightaway and come across the line. Go get your milk there, Kevin, as you have won here at Indianapolis, followed by Cale Turbeville, and followed that by Curtis Critchley.
Yeah, Skidmore's going to take home a 4th, it looks like. And Justin Lawson rounding out your top 5. Well thought, guys. Really great racing up there.
Man, as we had a battle still going on across the line for a 7th, and that was Cody Staten just beating Brad Taylor out as they crossed the line there.
Man, a lot of really, really good racing out there tonight. But, you know, the top 3, we know these guys very well, and that kind of ended up where they wanted it to end up.
120. I'm sorry, man. The 120 kind of sent the 20 around down on the access road. Maybe a little unfinished business there from that checkup they had earlier. I'm sorry. If you're talking about fighting, I'm always. I want to listen. You wouldn't mind.
No, I think it was for fun. No, these guys. Hey, it's a long race. I think this would have been a stressful race to be a part of. I'm pretty sure you're glad it's over at this point.
Well, like Albert Anderson was saying, man, it's mentally taxing, man. It just wears you down. It wears your nerves down. As Team America out there doing a little nose-to-nose burnout action. These guys out there having some fun.
As we sit here and wait for the guys to get ready and jump on up into that podium finisher channel here, gotta do some admin stuff real quick.
Let's talk a little bit more about Davidson Builders. This is their first race that they have sponsored here with HCK Beagles Racing League. I think they're signed on to do a couple more, so you haven't heard the last of Davidson Builders LLC. Quality home builder. They do remodels. Go online, davidson-builders.com. Check out their gallery. I mean, it just speaks for itself. I mean, quality is one of those things, you know it when you see it. And, everything I saw was pleasing to my eye on that website. So definitely go check them out. If you're in the New Jersey area, give those guys a shout. I'm sure they'll be happy to work with you. They offer discounts for military, first responders, police, and fire. So go check out their website. And if you're feeling up to it, go ahead and give them a call also at area code 609-600-2688. Davidson Builder.
All right, as it looks like we're starting to get people in that little channel there, so let's start these interviews off with our 3rd place finisher. That's that 27 of Curtis Critchley. Looked like you were going to be doing pretty well. You were able to be out in front from the get-go, and then you had a very long pit time there. Like almost a minute spent in the pits, I think, that first pit cycle there, Curtis, and I think that's what ended up eventually kind of costing you here, but still a solid 3rd place finish here at Indianapolis.
My crew was out getting ice cream there when I came in for my stop, and they had to put down the ice cream and get the car going. But really what happened there is that I thought we were running the pit lane was different. Like, it actually wasn't how in real life, because in real life there's the commitment cone, and then the wall, and then the pit line, or the speed line. But in the game here, it's speed line, wall, and still pit road, and I didn't even do any practice pitting, so I just came in there full bore and was going like 30 or 40 miles per hour faster than what I should have been, and had to sit there for 40 seconds after my pit stall. And luckily we got a break with the cautions there. I was afraid that it would have went green all the way, because it was a really nice clean race here today at night.
Yeah, speculation abounded. We're like, what the heck is he doing down there? But it was everything from he must have took a bathroom break to I didn't think about it probably flagged it. It's probably unsafe pit entry at that point. But talk about the green flag racing. We did see a little bit of pit strategy kind of come into play for a little while, but it was basically dependent on that one caution, kind of set everybody, not everybody, but most trucks on the same strategy. Did you expect that many green flag laps tonight?
It was a nice, refreshing surprise. I didn't think it would be that many green flag laps, but it's nice to get racing there. Kevin and I were racing pretty good there, and then so we got off sync of each other, and then it would have been nice to see how it played out there once if I didn't get that pit lane strategy, because then I think I could have had like a little fresher tires and even maybe stretch a bit of a gap on the next run. But in the end, it wouldn't have mattered if we had better pitch strategy or not, because then the caution came out and then we would have just been 1-2 again. But mainly I just shot myself in the foot here tonight, speeding in like that.
One heck of a recovery, though. I mean, Sports 27, he passed a lot of other cars. Go ahead there, Adam.
I was just going to say that's what happened. You shot yourself in the foot, but you worked your way out of it. Position 3 is not what you probably want, but that's still good for the points, and you're looking good for this championship coming up at the tail end of this season that we're heading into it. So congrats. You got any shout-outs or anything you want to talk about before we let you go?
I'd like to give a shout out to Refine Motorsports and Nexus Esports for always supporting me. Hello to Mom and Dad watching. Other than that, that's all I got for shout outs here, and also you guys for broadcasting this.
Oh, thanks, man.
Awesome,
no problem.
Man. We definitely appreciate that, man. And again, congrats on the third place finish. It's definitely not a result that's going to absolutely, gonna hurt your chances up there in that championship. But we look forward to seeing what you can pull out of the hat here coming up next week.
Hoping so. I don't know where we're going, but let's. It should be fun, like every week.
He's got like a 45,000 I rating. It doesn't matter where we're going. he's going to do okay.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He will, as we'll move on up to our second place finisher here tonight, and that's going to be that 64 of Cale Turbeville. Man, Cale, when are we going to find you in the dang winner circle at one of these things? Because you're putting in great efforts week in and week out, just not quite getting it done, but it just goes to show why you're sitting there, top 3 in points. It's because you're finishing up there in the top couple spots every single week.
Yeah, I was hoping I was going to change that and get a win eventually, but not this week. I done lost count of how many top 5s I got. About my worst finish is 14th, so I'm just hanging in there hoping for one eventually.
You don't have to hope. You're gonna work. You're gonna work until you get it. I mean, it's just a matter of time, I think, because people said the same thing about who was that? I think it was Chase Elliott. They said the same thing about Chase Elliott. It's like, man, when's he gonna get a win? What's going on with that team? But it just eventually started coming to him, and I mean, you're not even. You're real consistent. I mean, you're always right up there. It just hasn't fallen your way yet, but I feel it coming here in the near future. What do you think about all the green flag laps tonight? It was kind of surprising that y'all ran that many green flag laps, and did it kind of wear on your nerves a little bit?
I mean, yeah, a little bit. I was thinking it was going to be a little more like Michigan the other week with a bunch of cautions. I wanted to turn it into a fuel mileage race, but never really worked out to getting fuel mileage, and the track was kind of weird today. You get in the draft 1 or 2 laps and your right front was gone in a matter of no time. Just, I don't know.
Well, we were wondering how those tires were. It seemed like they were wearing out pretty quick, and you kind of had to use a little bit of strategy there, I'm assuming, to kind of stay where you were.
Yeah, the practice races and everything ain't been like that race. Just the right fronts were wearing out way, way faster. if you didn't have anybody in front of you, you'd go pretty good, but just 1 or 2 laps in the draft and it was shot.
Yeah, man. Well, I think the track temp probably definitely had some something to do with that too. I mean, we saw it peaking almost 120 degrees down there, at track level. So that's cooking them pretty good down there. But still coming away with a solid second place finish here tonight. Before we let you go, you got any shout outs or anything you want?
Yes, sir. My mama, my daddy, real life racing team, my sister, just everybody. I'm ready to do some real racing in real life finally.
Oh man,
what kind of racing are you going to be? Are you going to be doing? Are you doing street stocks or?
No, I race go-karts.
Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with the rest of the season, and good job here tonight, there, Kale. You did a phenomenal job there, buddy.
Oh, before I forget, congratulations to Winker. I forgot to congratulate the winner last time, so congratulations to him.
There you go. Hey, good sportsmanship right there, and we're about to bring Winker up. Old Kevin, he knows the podium, doesn't he?
Oh, does Kevin know the podium? He's got the opposite situation that poor old Kale does. But that 42 of Winker brings it home in that #1 spot for the 3rd time this season, man. Kevin, this one probably felt pretty dang good knowing that this one wasn't one of those where you got lucky or anything. You had to race this one out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, me and Curtis obviously were the class of the field, and he got that speeding penalty there in the beginning, and then he got lucky with that caution. So then he got back in the lead of the lap, and then it was all just about pit strategy there. And then my teammate told me he was pitting, so I said, well, I'm coming next time. Otherwise, tire fall-off's huge here, and then probably would have been blown by if I would have stayed out any longer than I did.
Well, you definitely have a fan base out there, and we saw folks pulling for you, pulling for Team America, representing Team America, representing Wisconsin and the U.S. Army. So congratulations on this win again. I asked the other guys the same question. What did you think about these long green flag runs? Was that something you expected, and did you prepare for it?
No, because the last race had 6 cautions. I looked at the notes. It had 6 cautions, so I was kind of basing my strategy off that. And then I got that long green run. I said, oh, maybe this thing will go green. And we got, I think, the 2 yellows there, and then it still went green. So I was actually surprised. I was happy, because usually the cautions breed cautions, and, people get wrecked. So I was happy that it went green. Different change of pace for once.
Well, I mean, you did it again. Awesome race. It was different. It was very cool to see y'all go almost flag to flag green. I mean, we just had that one incident, but the heat on the track, that had to have been affecting y'all. I don't know how it affected you, because you were pretty much driving through the whole field, but what do you think about this track, and what are you looking forward to at the next upcoming races?
Yeah, our practice races we had scheduled for the early morning, so the track wasn't as slick. So it's definitely a curveball for today. I mean, it was pretty slick, but once you got heat in your tires, it wasn't too bad. So overall, it was a good race. And then as far as next week for Dega, that's like Russian roulette. You never know what you're getting there. I mean, I'm going to try to run the high side like I like doing, but we'll see what happens, and I guess go from there.
Yeah, man. Well, we've definitely seen that high side workout for you, and I know you're going to mention them here in a second, but you got the shout outs and all that stuff going on?
Yeah, first I'll thank Davidson Builders for coming on tonight for sponsoring tonight's race, and then Muehlberger Custom Homes for sponsoring the league, and also Josh on my team sponsored him all season, so thanks to them. Shout out to my fiance for watching. She probably fell asleep now, but she was watching before, so
She missed the action.
yeah, she'll have to go watch it tomorrow. But then shout out to my teammates, Josh, Cody, and Zach. They're blast to work with, great teammates. Greg, Eddie, Austin, admins, all the guys in this league. You guys in the booth, killing it every week. Everybody in this league is just awesome. It's awesome to be a part of here. So.
Yeah, it's been a blast for us too, man. The chemistry and stuff that goes on between you know, the league members and the admins and the sponsors and us. I mean, it's been a trip. You know, we hope it continues for a long time.
Yeah, me too. I'm also excited to battle Curtis there. Him and I seem to be kind of the top of the line here, so we'll see who gets the win in the end. But it should be a fun battle between him and I.
That it should, and that battle will continue here next week. So we'll leave it at that, buddy. And good job here tonight, and good luck coming up next week. And you know, this rest of the season, because this one starts to kind of wind down here.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So you guys have a good night up in the booth.
You too, man.
All right. And with that, that concludes the racing action here from Indianapolis. And boys, it was definitely a good one that we weren't 100% expecting, but it was definitely well welcomed, as like you said, only a couple cautions thrown in there, kind of right around that middle way mark. So you basically, if you want to call it a staged race, it really wasn't, but you know, basically 2 stages, and we saw Kevin Winker basically win both those stages, and that's why he picked up the win here tonight, because he just absolutely dominated.
We talked a lot about track temp, you know, hovering pretty close to 120 degrees, always above 110 degrees. I mean, it was really hot out there. And yeah, it makes it slick. You know, guys are fighting the loose condition. That's why we saw so many Darlington stripes on the right rears of these trucks, is because they were getting loose. But even if the track wasn't hot, tire wear was going to be an issue. We were going to have guys that were running out there, and they would have been running tight. So you might have had a little bit different outcome with the tight trucks going up and smacking the front end on the outside wall. So to me, I'd rather have a loose truck than a really tight one, but it still made it fun to watch. I'm just glad that we got so much good racing in tonight. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a blast that they put on the show, and looking forward to next week.
Yeah, well, before we move on to next week, let's do the finishing order for this week, and that's that 42 of Kevin Winker, win number 3 on the season. That's going to knot things up a little bit closer on that championship standings here. So great job by Kevin. Same thing with Cale Turbeville, that 64 truck man, week in, week out. He's one you want to be watching. He's a solid racer there, picking up a 2nd place here tonight. Same thing with that 27 of Curtis Critchley. See him up there just about race in, race out as well. I mean, shoot, I think Curtis's worst race is like 6th or something. So definitely be on the lookout for that 27 here next week. You got that 75 of Brian Skidmore continuing some good runs here, being able to take home a 4th place finish. Same thing with that 20 of Justin Lawson, having a solid race to finish here in 5th. Then I believe it is the hard charger of the day, and that goes to the 4 of Eric Stoy. He's up 16 spots on the day to finish in 6th, with Cody Staten right behind him in 7th. He had the 31 of Brad Taylor rounding, coming in 8th, with the 6 of Paul Durkee 9th, and the 51 of Joshua Moore is going to round out your top 10.
Well,
Sorry, I was muted.
I was wondering what was happening. Go ahead there.
Derek Welch in that number 1 Davidson Builders machine finishing in 11th. Rodney Griffin in the 97 will finish 12th. Stephen Naylor in that Makita number 5 machine will finish in 13th place. Dylan Ellis in the 18 will finish 14th. Bay Area Rob Chowdhury in the 408 truck finishing 15th. Zach Staten, one of your Team America guys, finishing in 16th. Michael Reynolds in the 45 will finish 17th. Austin Johnson, man, what a race he had. It looked like he was going to take one of them spots close to the top. Still able to hang on and finish in 18th after starting in 30th. The 12 of Austin Johnson. Good solid finish out there tonight. And 110 of Richard Gray, another Numb Thumbs cat, finishing in 19th. Henry Wyndham in the 28, finishing in 20th.
Yeah, you have 20 and 21st, 22 Albert McBride, 22nd, 66 of Paul Bertiani. Kind of had a rough night there. He had looked like a helicopter heading into pit road at one point, but he'll be back next week. 23rd place. The number 120 is Zach Dillon, 24th. Number 24, Andrew Hansley, the 4th. 25th, 76 of Michael Hicks. 26th, the number 10 is Stone Hutchinson. 27th, Dusty Smith had a rough night out there as well. 28th, Nathan Stanley. 29th, Derek Rowdy Puckett. 30th, Eddie Murray, number 33, Great Oriole. 31st, Brian Doty. And didn't look like he graded or anything, but Brandon Coleman's on the board in 32nd.
And that does complete your field here for tonight. We thank you all for tuning in and watching this wonderful HCK Beagles race and tuning into all the races that you guys do watch here with us. We appreciate it every single time because you all are the reason that we do this. I mean, otherwise it'd just be three idiots talking about racing. It would just be plain old weird. So we thank you guys for
me and two idiots maybe.
Sorry. Either way, it's you're getting me all confused now.
I threw him off. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Threw
I
me
messed
off.
up rhythm.
Oh man.
I think he was, me and him, English are the idiot. You're not an idiot, Brown, but thank you for.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
That's where I was going with that.
I still have fun with y'all either way. So, but yeah, we thank you all for tuning in. It's definitely greatly appreciated for you guys doing that, as well as those Davidson builders. Man, seriously, go check them out. They've got their web page up and the whole showcase of what they've done and the previous works and their skills, and just a great all-around company. They're based out of New Jersey, so especially if you're in that area, go give them a shout out. Go give them some love. Go give them some business if you're looking at doing some remodel, doing some building stuff. You know, you definitely, in this day and age where the materials are starting to cost a little bit more than what they used to, you don't really want to be doing that alone. And trust some professionals with that, so they get it done the right way the first time, and that will, in the long run, save you a whole bunch of money and trips to your local Home Depot. So go check out Davidson Builders there, as they sponsored this race here tonight. And with that, I'm Alan Brown for Alan English and Adam Turner. We are signing off for the night. We love you guys.
We gone.
See ya.